What? Yes. Hello, I am Brenda Jean Power, and this is Medicine Woman Soultion. And I think everything is a go. Whew, a lot going on today. Time changes here in South Australia, so I think I did it correctly for you guys so that you guys didn't have to change. One of the things that I feel that we all have to discuss here on the planet is things, how do you want to put it? New energies are coming in, so we have to take in life differently. And that means we're going to have to start noticing what's called hell loops. And one of the things that you will begin to notice with me, if you're on this journey, is that when you're in hell loops, how do you make them stop? What are they? How can you identify them? You know, you're going to have to go through the whole range of discovering what is an ego mindset versus a spiritual mindset. What does it mean when you begin to heal and integrate that it creates an authentic self? There is what's called peace. Your nerves is looking for peace. And your nerves have had this experience, and this experience. That when it comes to guilt, when it comes to shame, they will go into this part where it'll feel like a hell loop. Most people with depression have guilt. The earmark of what I find is like there's a continuous, whether they did something, they were in that space and they absorbed it, or it was thrown at them. Again, you will also learn about energies of how they communicate. And one of the things about the Success Hope Therapy tool is this one. It has a lot to do with letting you be in your hell loops so that you don't fire and wire the brain and store it in the body. It helps you resolve this. I'll go a little bit further. One of the benefits is it starts to give you the act of forgiveness, because you were in your hells and they were looping and they're looping. Even if you see it and you're supposed to, whew, I feel better. I see it. That's not always the case, because the body begins to hold what's called the firing and wirings, and your subconscious mind begins to, I don't know the best way to say it. Imagine that you had a stone in your shoe and you're walking and you know you have to walk many Ks or miles. And after a while, you're like, I can put up with this. I can put up with this. And then the pain gets too great that your body muscles on one side will start compensating for the ones that can't work on that side. And so then the body starts holding the distortion. Okay. And then after a while, that's your new normal. You take the stone out and you keep walking that way. And your body's like, what are you talking about? This is how we do it. The muscles are developed over here, are weak over here. And what are you talking about? At the same time, emotions that get trapped in the body can do the same thing. So over time, you'll be doing this particular decomposition, or I should say the compromisation, to the point where that's the new normal. But if you start to mess with the way that it feels broken, where you just feel broken, and sometimes you can see that with disease, it just, something is broken with the DNA, something is broken with why you can't lose weight or why you feel sick all the time. Sometimes it's just emotions. And sometimes we have to go a little bit further, because this is where you learn to use dimensions to understand what is the depth of this, what is the length of this, what is this? So you look at it and you measure. And what are you measuring? Well, what I've looked at is what's called the kaleidoscope of perspectives of life. If you're only here and you haven't noticed the rest, you're going to be on a journey. Sometimes when you're on that journey, you'll be forced to go to quest and you have to experience things. Well, this is where I like to help people understand that when you start to heal out those emotions, you're breaking free from the arrested developments or the self-imposed limitations, but you don't have anything to fall back on. So you have to also skill build. But removing and clearing out all those belief systems, of those paradigms, all of those belief systems of ancestral curses, cultural curses, gender curses. These are all the things that we've experienced in the past that we have now laid before us. Can we stop sitting going, well, I should know that. You don't. You're stupid. That language. Well, if it doesn't inconvenience me, it can inconvenience you. That belief system. Well, it's important to me. It better be important to you. That value. We're learning how to be individual souls that are learning how to work with one another. So it's important to begin to learn how to heal those. That's where a lot of times I will just come in and I'll start working with you and having you address your issues. The way we address them is differently. It gives you a reprieve of going, wait a minute, there's a connection here. Hold on. There's a connection of the dots. Some stuff's making sense. And then when you use a tool like Success Hope Therapy or Source Point Healing, and your brain gets to be relieved from all of these chemicals, or the energy is finally released into the brain, you can think clearer. You'll be like, hold on, where the hell, why was I think that way? Was it? Okay, so you're going to learn a lot of things, but a lot of things on this energy of this planet is that we downloaded a bunch of things to remember about love. And that means it's going to strip all the things that we learned about what love isn't. And that means old belief systems that we had to cover up our heart. We had to heal, and we had to put a mask on, and we had to, and today it's all been about people cutting out different parts of themselves so they could cope, handle, and deal. What's on my shirt? Cope, handle, and deal with that particular moment. So when I help people, I love to give readings so that you can see where is your emotions. Somebody says, do you use only PayPal or do you have Cash Apps? I don't have a Cash App. Now, if you do decide you want to I do have another way, but it usually takes 2 or 3 days before it can be approved. So this is where I will have you can pay ahead of time if you know I'm doing the show. It's the same for but if you're just doing a donation and because you want to support me, then that's fine. We can do that, but it has to be told. So it has to be I have to know which way you're going to go with this, because the live immediate shows have to be approved before I can actually have you come on. Well, hey, James, how you doing? I miss you too. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying your night. That is good. Hello. I'm looking at those who are ready. I see some new people. So if you want, because you're new, you get 2 minutes for your free read, and I do those first. So, oh, and it's wonderful. Look at all you beautiful people. Oh, hey, Lilia. Oh, how wonderful. Hello, Jennifer. So, okay, so yeah, you can use PayPal. And the thing is like, if you want to do it like this, a one-on-one where I give you the reading for 8 minutes, it's $16. Or I give you a link, you come on the show and you can just use audio, or you can do video. Now, anything and all things that we do on the show becomes the owner of Medicine Woman Soultion. Okay, just so you know. Yes. So, but if you're new and you want a 1 minute reading, well, you actually get 2. So what I want you to understand is that when I get this school going, this academy, we're going to be doing it in a form of levels of competency through the belt system, white belt all the way up to the black belt and beyond. There's a part of you that's got to discover who you are. It's important to develop that part of yourself if you want to become that next level, to be in this level of consciousness. We have a new level of consciousness. We get to build it. We get to learn how to get through this transitional state that we're in. We're going and doing our best to bring the unity back of yin and yang, of male and female, of these two energies, so they can find peace within it. And the peace I'm referring to is like, you go through a very particular incident and you're going, oh my God, and you're in that OMG stage and you can't cope, handle, and deal with what's going on. And you don't have a tool. And so the old way was to, oh my God, and you don't realize it. Next thing you know, you got alcohol in your hand or something to calm the nerves, or and you want something to make sense. And as soon as you get the answer, it may just devastate you. Healing tools I'm referring to, just the OMG alone, touching this top point with the help with the emotion, drop it down and touching the forehead helps bring the blood back up to your forebrain. All these little particular things is that your innate in you are bringing back to unity. The peace from that hell of just getting this balance helps. But when you start to open up to the next level, you begin to see other perspectives, and it just makes sense. At the time, it's not going to. At the time, it's going to be war. At the time, it's going to be blame, shame, guilt, unfair. But when you get your nervous system to start to release this, it starts creating a unity in the brain. It starts creating a unity in the nervous system, which then starts creating unity in the body, mind, and spirit, so that you can become a healthier spiritual human. Okay, please, any questions you may have about what I'm talking about, because some of you are new, some of you are not. If you've got comments, I'd like to hear them. Okay. If you want a reading, and there was always the option, if you can't stay, then you message me and get on the wait list. What we do is we put a timestamp up later. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get to my wall. How come I can't get to my wall? Spirit likes to talk about many things because it's very important to do so. And tell me how you're waking up. Tell me, do you see that you're awake? A lot of people are going to be freshly trying to understand where they are in their life. They could be going along and being happy, and then and have hell at the same time, and they don't know it. There's nothing wrong with where you're at. Just notice where you are and then begin. Because what I like to do is to help you understand where your life force, because you've accepted, you've agreed. Okay, that's that acceptance. To the point you gave your willpower away because now you believe it. And if you become and join this journey with me when the academy starts rolling out, or just join the tribe so you can start now, is that you're going to become a way shower. But you can't do that until you become a way seer. And you can't do that until you begin to awaken. And when you start to awaken, you're going to have to really learn the difference between ego mindset and spiritual mindset, and seeing how those two halves need to come into integration. Okay. I don't know how else to explain it. There's so much I want to talk about and write about in tribe, tomorrow's tribe. And tribe has changed a little bit. We still going to give you the dedication and the 4 live experiences for a really good price, but we want the interaction. We want you to come in and understand that that's your basics. And when you come in, I want you guys to talk. So, you have issues, you got questions. Let's look at it from a different point of view. Let's help people see things differently. It's time to open up that part where your brain can go, oh, hold on. And I don't want you to go down false meaning and false realities, because it's not a pretty place to go. Somebody is having throat issues. I can feel them. Ooh, really? So Angela says, I'm in a circle of breaking out of due to not taking meds and truly seeing what's around me. Huge, huge step. And I would have to say, Angela's usually one that gets a 1-minute reading. Okay, so I'm gonna, they're telling me that they're telling me, Angela, one of the things is as you begin to wake up, you're going to start seeing these patterns, these programs, and so you don't scare yourself to go back to sleep or to having to feel like you can't cope, because it's all in the day. It ends up being about self-regulation and self-soothing, the things we couldn't do. So Angela, you got a lot going on here. You have some knots. I am not going to be like that. I'm not going to be like that. Or you're not allowed to be like that. You're not allowed to be what you want. So look at what your knots are. They said that you're going to do what a lot of people do, and that is when you start to move out of your comfort zone, it's going to be the feeling of awkward. That's the feeling. And awkward will be how you will either put yourself back to sleep, or you can learn how to soothe that feeling. When you learn how to soothe that feeling, you're going to be able to move in the direction that's going to be more clear-minded. So I would say, if you started to work with that, where would you begin? And they said they want you to do right wrist, first position soft. And it has to do with how you know the history of awkward. You know, here we go again. Because they said it's a very particular picture. And when they tell me it's a very particular picture, they're telling me it has a lot to do with how you had to compromise, or you had learned that the right way of doing it is that you're supposed to do it this way. And it's about a composition, so that your body is like putting that shoe, you know, stone in the shoe, and all right, fine, I'll put the stone. And then you have to be the one limping, and your body's going to get all distorted. They want you to, again, look at it that there's a little bit of hopelessness. That's like, they're using the word hopeless because it's like you lost heart, you lost the courage, you lost, and they want you to find it again. They want you to find it. One of your key triggers that's going to throw you in. Sure do. Learn to compromise a lot. Okay. One of your key triggers that is going to take you down, and it'll morph you. And I want people to understand this. When certain triggers are used, it can put you in a state that you don't want to be in. So your keyword is accused, which leads me to the story is that me and my husband went out and we enjoyed Adelaide. So we walked over in new places we haven't walked before. And as we're starting the journey, we were joking, and he's like, yeah, he says, so because my last name is German, so he was joking, you know, and I'm like, and all of a sudden I felt this shift, and I'm talking to myself, I think I just shifted into the family line's name. I can feel that it's not me, but I can feel the attitude, the yeah, man. And it's like, I'm like going through all these rays, and I'm looking at him like, yikes. I mean, I don't want to be this, but I wanted to be mad at him. I'm like, why do I want to be mad at my husband? And these filters were coming up left and right. And so I had to reclaim who I was. I kept thinking in my head, I am Brenda. I am Brenda. I am Brenda. And I even said my last name, I am Brenda Power. And I just had to bring myself back to the moment. And then I did a couple little healings to pop that out. But holy crap, I did not know it had a control over me. And it did. I'm no longer attached to that. I get more depressed in these months, so fighting it. Okay, so yours is a seasonal thing as well. So that means that it must be around Christmas. Usually when we have this, see, and I'm looking at how it says there's a deep-seated pain that's related to this awkward feeling of feeling helpless. And they said something about November. There was an emotional chemical peptide dump that happened around 8 years old, and you were forced to readjust. And you did it because of the guilt. Now I said, is this like your guilt? No. Was this guilt in the room? Yes. Was the guilt aimed at you? Not necessarily. So a lot of time what this is about is usually when your parents break up or someone dies. The thing that you thought was safety, boom, gone. Nothing's going to make sense, and you're going to reject it and reject it and reject it. And usually at that point, you are going to absorb the what's going on, these emotions, these thoughts, these words, these fightings. You will become so, due to my wee ma dying not long after. Whoa. Okay. All right, so, oh, wow. So there's a lot of anticipation and anxiety. Okay, so yes, I can totally feel it. With that one, I want you to hold R3S, because your stability that you knew that was stable, you haven't been able to find that. So out of the 6 S's, safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, Space is that freedom that we're all wanting and feeling like somebody's taken it away. And you need to balance these because they're lost. It's part of the primal energies that we had, the primal needs that we needed. Staying wet, food, comfort, love, hugs, safety, security, stability. And when they started to not get fulfilled and we were thrown off our course, then it's how do we recover? Yeah, as if I felt abandoned. Yes. Got issues with that still. Yes, exactly. When those successes, any of those start to crack, you'll feel less than whole. A separation will be happening. A form of abandonment energy will occur. A loss. And if you didn't know how to cope, handle, and deal with it, or you didn't have enough information as a child, it will then really play havoc in how your brain tries to cope, handle, and deal with the issue at the time of the age that you had it. Okay. So now you're going to do R3D because you have the fear of being bold. And that means if my stability is gone and somebody's died, I don't know if I have it in me that I can do this. And you're asked to step up and grow every time your hormones start surging. Your soul is saying, we got to get going. But if you have had these issues in these 6 areas, any of those 6 areas, then you're going to feel like you're not good enough, that you can't, because you can't stop looking at the loss or the separation, which causes you then to live over here. And because of that disheartening, it doesn't matter what you've achieved, you were not going to believe it because your mind is over here. And it's time to heal this over here. Okay. Thank you for playing along with me. I appreciate it. If there's anybody new in the room, you get a 2 minutes free. Anybody else want to just play along, talk to me? Let's dig in. It's important to understand the basics. Let's dig in. Because, you know, when you look at the word depress, okay, most of the time people think of depression as something different. A lot of times it's a character you have to play and put the mask on in order to be accepted and loved, and so you can feel whole again. But sometimes if you just take the word depress, it is like feeling utterly dispirited or dejected, make unhappy. Now, the interesting was make someone feel this way. If you look up the word depressed, it makes someone feel utterly dispirited or rejected. If we know if a person has not healed their shit and they are a big ass wound, then they're going to try to figure out how to cope, handle, and deal. It means they could throw it out, they could deflect, they could push in pain. Now, like, you watch the manners of people of how they fight. And this is one of the eye openers I had growing up. And so as soon as you're about to have a voice, somebody will sit there and fight back, talk over you, stop the conversation because they're in pain. They don't want to go there, or they learned it. This is how you're supposed to treat people. And these are the old paradigms that keep you from empathy. This is what keeps you from love. And why did we have those? Because there was a feeling we could not heal out, soothe, self-regulate. Take depressed a little bit further. Depress, reduce the level of strength. Did you ever have those dreams where you're fighting and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, you're gonna pull a punch, and all of a sudden it goes, here it comes, and all of a sudden it's like lighter than a feather, and you're like, uh-oh. But what if people intentionally versus unintentionally began to reduce your level of strength because they have to be alpha? I've seen a lot of people go, I'm so disappointed in you. They're throwing around the shame. They're throwing around the guilt. And why? Why is it necessary? Because that was the paradigm of not really love. It was all about protecting survival. And we're healing the survival mind. And so we can get back to the state of peace and joy. So what guilt do you need to heal? Do you blame yourself because nobody else would stand up and be responsible? Or did somebody blame you because they didn't want to look bad in front of anybody else? When people speak, they think, well, I'm joking. No. Emotions that get thrown off of movies, oh my God, just really grip you. Books you open up and you're like, oh my God, I can't put down. It's the same thing when you're standing in front of people and when they're just in not knowing how to self-regulate and self-soothe, and they just throw their shit out there. There is no sense of responsibility. So you can be guilty. It's as if you've done something and you really were blameworthy and you didn't know how to handle that emotion. Or you can go into feeling responsibility and remorse. Okay? But what if you are feeling guilty because somebody threw it at you? So guilt is a conditioned emotion. People are conditioned, they learned to feel guilty. Just simply learn to feel guilty. And so then it'll be like Pavlov's dog, certain triggers, and you have to go there. If you're in a fighting conversation and you're used to having to be the one that compromises, then you've already have this energy that puts off, and people will start using words that you magnetically know are going to make you feel this way, but it's going through the filters. What if they really aren't? That's tricky. When you start to notice your filters, you're like, oh, holy shit, I need to get rid of those. But what are the signs of guilt? Being sensitive to the effect of every action, overwhelmed by possibly making wrong decisions, low self-esteem, putting others before you until it's, detrimental, avoiding your full range of emotions. Did you know that you can have OCD guilt? You become unable to ignore these thoughts that constantly are coming at you. These are the ones I tell you that go into high beta. These are intrusive thoughts. These are the obsessive thoughts. And attached meaning to them. When your ego tries to take hold, it's going to put all of these meanings, the reasonings, and all of it, the excuses, all of these. And when you're an ego, it'll put false meanings and you become attached. And then you'll take something and you'll twist it and you make it a fact. And when you treat these thoughts as facts, as a conclusion, you again can feel guilt, shame, and worry. But sometimes you have these thoughts that just can't stop. These can't stop. And yes, you can. OMG it. Start off with that. EFT it. But you need to measure. Most people don't measure. You need to measure. So some people will shut off the ability to feel guilt, but what if they don't understand that perspective yet? Okay. The hard part is that if you're going through this and you are with somebody that likes to be in control of you because they can't be in control of themselves, they also like to fight because it's part of the makes them feel powerful. Now, the reason I just brought this up is that somebody entered the room now, and I don't know who it is. It kind of threw me off. That's because that's not what I was talking about, but apparently. But anyways, there's all different kinds of guilt. And I've been thrown off. So we're going to look. Is there anybody in the room that's new that wants a 2 minutes? Because you get 2 minutes while everybody else is been watching me. They get 1 minute. So let's look. I see something's going on. That means I need to open up my my news feed, my email. See what else is going on. Yeah, that's right. It didn't go over there. So I'm going to have to go over into the room because it didn't come through. Let me try to get there now. Well, yeah, wonderful. Look at all this. So what do we have here? Oh, tribal. Okay. We have many people signed up for tribal. That's awesome. Thank you for coming back. We're getting these basics. Please go to the room, start noticing the questions and things I'm bringing up. Let's get a real discussion on learning the basics. And it looks like Jennifer Toffel is up first. We have, hold on, read my messages. I don't see one. Hold on. Yes, I do. What do we got here? So we have a pay it forward, or do we or not? Or is that from yes, no? So I'm not sure. I do have Angela Allen that has put, oh, she did the pay it forward. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so it's not written here, but she said it there. And I'm getting caught up. I'm getting caught up. Yeah, so it's just a weird feeling when you just feel this. I got to catch back onto who I am now here. Hold on. Ooh, there we go. Oh, you're from Australia. What part? Because I'm from South Australia. Hello, Nancy. They keep cutting out. Okay, I'll get your 1 minute. You know that, sweetheart. Okay, so tribals, I want you to understand tribal is very important. The academy has been rearranged in such a way that I didn't think was going to exist, but because it's Liverpool, ooh, okay, wonderful. Okay. You guys are ready to wake up to helping and creating a whole new level of consciousness, and it's very important we begin to do so. And by doing so, that means you're going to have to play along with healing and seeing things at the different levels of how spirit speaks. And okay, spirit is cutting me off. And I'm just going to go and do this next part, which I got to find where she's at. Okay. Oh, seriously. There we go. So what we're going to do while I'm doing this, and Miranda, if Miranda keeps count, she knows exactly what the pay it forward. We're going to play the number game. We're going to say 1 through 40. So we're going to keep that in mind. I'm going to send the link over to Jennifer, and we'll go in that direction. And again, if you're, you know, now she'll get on, and then you can get if you hang around. I will tell you the difference between tribal and academy as soon as I'm done with this. And if you're new and you want your 2 minute, just wait after this. Okay. Well, here she comes. Oh, almost had you. Yay, we got you. Okay. All righty. How can I help you, my dear?
So this thing with this twin flame that I don't know. Backstory. I was going to go to Comic-Con with my goddaughter. They switched it to October because of COVID. I bought a ticket. Things fell through with her. So it's over by where I want to look at a job. So my plan was to get a hotel. And then I'm going to go explore the town the next day, sit in a park, see if I can vibe, align, find the metaphysical stores, the coffee shops, the cool places like that alternative tour we did that one day of Lansing. I wanted to do that in this town. And so I'm just pairing it with Comic-Con. So I reach out to him and say like, hey, this is what happened. This fell through. This is, are you up for going? And he's like, oh, well, actually, that could work out because I just have this one thing. And then like, that could happen. And I said, okay, well, this is what my plan is. And he's like, okay, well, there's some hotels along this road, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so wait till payday, make my reservation. And so I reached out today. Oh, and he had reached out before. He actually reached out to tell me he was vaccinated. That was an issue that was going on. So he paid attention and listened to what my concerns were. So that's cool. But so then today I reach out. I'm like, hey, just to let you know, like I made plans. I have a place. And also just letting you know, like there's no pressure on anything because like I have this other plan and it's because I'm gonna be job hunting and I want to see. And so he said, his response was, pressure is non-existent. And that just like sucked the wind out of my sails.
Okay, now what do you think he meant?
It's like, oh, well, it felt exactly like at the beginning, because we've been off and on for like a couple of years, where I make plans or I want to make plans and I hit a wall with him. Like it's going along, and then boom, like, nope, can't get through. And so I used my pendulum and it said like I bumped into his commitment phobe.
Yeah, he has one big time.
And so I can't make plans. Like it
okay,
was open.
Say that phrase again, he said.
Pressure, his only response to me telling him that I'm making plans and I'm going to be over there and we can see, pressure is non-existent.
And what the hell does that mean?
Part of it, like if I were going on the positive side, was, oh, well, he doesn't feel any pressure and he is actually excited to go.
Okay.
That is not what I felt.
Okay, there we go. So good on her. I want you to understand she's learned the basics to separate this. I want you to hold L1D and I want you to immediately feel petrified about how love is unreceived. You reached out, you gave love, you're like, woohoo, we're doing this. And all of a sudden his comment, when you put that on the scale from 0 to 10, what number is it?
15,000.
Okay, begin to notice this happens to be a story. And I want you to feel it and I want you to move, transcend, and let go. As we look at the energy, you are starting to feel hysterical inside.
Yeah, my head started swimming. I started getting a headache and I was instantly deflated and any good feelings that I had were instantly gone.
Exactly. And I'm asking spirit, so it is, and it is like you're forcing, you listen to that. You're forcing yourself to readjust. And I says, what do you mean? They says she's not able to receive. I says, why is that? And they said, it's because of strategy. Tell me more. It's because it's a learned helplessness. It's like you have to prepare for the fall. Why get your hopes up? Now, you kind of got a yes, but you're like, oh, I've seen this before. And who comes into your mind? Who is he? Makes promises.
It's my dad.
Correct. Begin to notice that they're saying around 5 years old, you started really feeling. And what happened at 5 when he made a promise and it didn't happen?
I was in kindergarten. My grandma was living with us. I don't know if it was 5, but he was the one who would be there to meet me after school, even though I started being a latchkey kid at 6. I don't know why they trusted me. But anyway, there were times like he was supposed to be there and he wouldn't be there. So like.
Well, you just answered your own question. Notice that. They just saying, notice that he wouldn't be there. He wouldn't be there. He said he would, but he wouldn't be there. Notice how can you trust that? I see the little girl, she's hiding behind the mask. And I says, what that? Well, I have to discourage myself because every time I got my hopes up, it hurt. I says, could you tell me more? And he says, well, I would be depressed. And I says, depressed in the fact you were depressed with sadness and all that? No. It's like I felt like they wanted me to feel dispirited. They took my strength away. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it's the wind out of the sails.
Very good, very good. Begin to notice the wind out of the sails and move to L3D and feel like how you're just an object and you're nothing.
And that was what my sister would do. She would deflate me all the time.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Now, what I want you to begin to hear is I want you to hear the story. You've been rehearsing this. You couldn't cope with it. It just went over and over and over and over and over and over. Now we're going to ask this little child that if it's important that you understand, is it okay to stop identifying yourself with discouraged? And I want that little girl to stand before you. And I want you to realize that she says, my name is discouraged. Say, no, your name is, and your name was Jennifer, right? When you're little? Was there any specific name that, or to nickname?
Yes, but I don't go by it anymore.
Okay.
Jenny.
Is there pain with that name?
It was when the boys at this one summer camp would say that Jenny's worth a penny.
Okay, begin to notice. Begin to notice that pain, here we go again, that pain, I'm not liked, that pain. And you've been running from that pain. Now, I want her to claim herself. Have her say her name. Because at that age, she went by that, correct?
Yes.
Have her say her name until she realizes she's no longer about the identity of discouraged. And I want you to feel the release. Remove, transcend, and let it go. And notice how you're like, but I don't know anything other than distrust. Now your 7-year-old's popped up. She says, I'm distrust. My name's not Jenny or Jennifer. I distrust. I become self-conscious. I see them seeing me and it hurts. They don't like me. They don't like what they see. Is that true?
I had the meanest teacher in school that year.
Begin to notice you couldn't run from it. You had to be abused by it. We're going to remove, transcend, and let that go. And they want you to go back up to L1D, and they want you to use, that was your coping tool, was to think, feel the pain, to become something else so they would leave you alone. You had to morph into being a different person, that you had to hide who Jen or Jenny was. I want you to feel diminished by everything and notice that was the coping tool. This nastiness of thinking and feeling was your coping tool. Do you want that coping tool anymore?
No.
Now you're going to look at it and say, I'm going to release this because I'm holding something sharp and it's hurting me. I'm going to let it go. Take that stone out of the shoe. Just let it go. And I want you to feel it. And you're like, but I don't know how to let go. I'm thinking, you know how to drop something from your hand? Do you know how to go take a crap in the toilet? Let it go. Feel it. Let it go. Stop being attached to it. Stop holding on to that attachment. That is no longer needing to be you. Now claim your name. Claim your name. And notice the little girl had to shut down her emotions. Ask her, do you need to anymore? Do you need to run from it anymore? And as this happens, notice that the inner world is changing, so it sends out a different frequency. And the little girl says, well, I created a phobia. And I said, you created a phobia? She says, yes, because of the feelings of helplessness. I convinced myself over and over it was my fault. I feel guilty. I feel shamed. I abuse myself with these thoughts. And I didn't let go of these thoughts. The thoughts were OCD. The thoughts wouldn't stop. And I said, did you know how to stop them? they said, and she says, well, the story is, I feel incompatible. I don't know how to make him stop. I said, very good, very good. I said, well, you have to first let it go if you want to make it stop. She says, but if I let it go, then that gives him permission to hurt me and act mean. I said, is that really true? Ask your adult self. Is that really true? This is where we're just going to have the mind switch. And now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have you take your hand down and we're going to just do this. You're going to take in this one and this one. Okay, so from here and here, you're just going to swipe like this and then flip it, swipe like that. You're going to do both sides. You're going to make sure you touch here and here. So you're just going to pull it across. There you go. Do that a few times. Go over to the other side. There you go. You're getting it, sort of. Flip your hand. Once you get out here, flip it. There you go. There you go. There you go.
My brain is
Now, can you do two things at once? Can you touch that one and rub them?
I don't know.
Okay, in the
Right
middle.
here and here.
Yeah, good, good. Just rub them. We're going to remove transcend and let it go. Now you're going to do the other side. Now you got to stop telling yourself lies. You have got to, you are at a stage now, young lady, that you know that you can say, wait a minute, it feels like the truth, but I'm punishing myself with self-abuse. This is my child part that I need to raise. You need to find out whether it's true or not. Okay.
So that's why I'm here, because like everything just like crumbled. And I'm like, well, at least it's Sunday for me. I know it's Monday for you, but at least like, and like it just felt so familiar.
Yes. And seeing the thing is you are also saying, even though it felt familiar, that's the basics. You're waking up. At the same time, you're like, but I don't really want to create this anymore. You're saying, I don't no longer want to accept. I no longer need to believe, and I want to take my willpower off it. That's a huge step. You're doing good.
I would actually, like Brenda said back in the day, heal so that the person could actually show up like themselves. Like,
exactly. That's huge. Before we go on to the next thing, that's huge. Explain that. Say that one more time and explain that so people hear that one.
So heal, like what I just did. I still have dents in my forehead. Anyway, heal so that the other person that you're having an interaction with can show up as their true self. In my heart of hearts, I know that this person has no ill will. He might actually like me. And it would be really nice if I gave him an opportunity to like show up and do that.
Yes. Yes, we have a tendency to put those filters up and not allow them to be themselves. And when they have to, that was just, we've gone through much, and, because we were in the same living arrangements. And like one time somebody came through the door that you brought through, and I morphed right into whatever it is that I was supposed to be for that person. And it was like, what? And then there was a few things others. And my whole demeanor, do you remember that? Everything just flipped out and changed. And I'm like, oh my God, we have a tendency to show up the way people expect. People, this is why you have to really be responsible for the energy you bring into the room or the energy you present to others. So I don't think.
And I don't know what I'm fulfilling. I have no idea what I'm fulfilling for him, right? Like, I would actually like to heal so that I could show up for him. Like,
right. But you've been a latchkey kid. I thought that was interesting how you said that. You know what it's like to be alone.
Yeah.
And being one of the you know what symptom you have. I want you to say it. I mean, I'm not going to put you on the spot. So you carried it for many years. You've said it before. I just want to make sure that you understand the D word.
That I was a bitch.
D, not B.
Oh, depression.
Yes. Now that you've said it.
I mean, I'm
But
a bitch on wheels, but like that was
yeah.
just offensive.
Yeah, but the depression.
And
Okay.
I asked Spirit a few years ago, like the underlying cause, and then I realized I have anxiety. And everybody in my life is like, "Oh, you didn't know you had anxiety? Could you have told me?"
Well, now
So
that you understand it, you can hear the words with it too.
Right. So I was really resonating with what you were saying about the guilt, because part of me also felt guilty that I was bothering him by texting him.
Right. And the thing is that if you, okay, we're going to have to go soon, but just understand, I need you to study what neediness is. It causes people to run from. And you may not display it, but you can push the energy out. Oh, we have one person in common. I'll have to text you the name.
Because I feel like that's what he feels from me.
Aha, then that's chances are it is, because the age that you were. Okay, so when you were, I just need to explain this, people. Again, it's not about.
I will pay it forward.
So when you get to like 12, 13, 14, you have to know when you've calling somebody too much, texting them too much, or you have that self-regulation. Because I remember going to Detroit, or not Detroit, it was the other place. I went over to Perry, and the next thing you know, I was all I was around was kids, and then now I've got adults around me. My mouth was, I didn't know how to self-regulate, and I know it was pissing people off. And it was like, I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to stop. And then Spirit says, okay, we're going to show you how before you ruin friendships. And the neediness of, oh my God, I want to talk and to hear your own voice. Oh, I got an idea for that. It turns on all of these chakras or your data centers. Hey, I hurt my leg when I was 7 or 4 years old. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, then you went down and you matched that. And the crescendos that happen just in your own space, then we're not responsible for allowing. The one thing I loved what you and your mother talked about one time was how you can be in the same space. And when like she was asking the question, you're going to be home for dinner, instead of taking offense to it, it was respecting the fact that your mom says, I'm going to put a plate on the table. Do you want me to or not? You know?
Yeah.
And that was a huge lesson to hear.
He at one point in time said, that's okay. You can send me whatever messages you want, blah, 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 blah. Well, I actually believed him. And I didn't think that I was abusing it, but I feel like.
Did you say you believe it? Why do you have to believe it? Okay. Sometimes we feel and we convince ourselves into these false meanings and these false realities. Okay, you can learn how to regulate, but if you think he feels that, what do you think he's going to feel when you think that? What energy do you think he's going to put out? And then you're going to have to come up with all kinds of excuses and stories to put out that fire that you just created within yourself. And then you put all these energies out so that you can prove it to yourself that you're correct. And then you put yourself in an isolation bubble and you don't know you're doing it. Okay. So you've got to learn, is it true? Like when I go out in the kitchen and I drop something, oh man, I hate when I do that. Wait a minute. Do I really hate? I know you can't muscle test, but you can. You just have to get back, trust yourself. And when my body says, no, you don't hate yourself. Well, cancel, clear, delete. And am I really that pissed? Body goes, no, that's just an association of how you're supposed to react because that's what you saw. You're Pavlov's dog. And I'm like, oh, but no, I don't want to be that. Taking back that responsibility, cancel, clearing, deleting. When you start to feel like you're going, oh my God, I think he feels this. I want you to start to run the clearing statements.
Okay.
Okay. Just knock it out of the park. I don't want you to keep investing in it. Begin to notice, am I investing in hell or in peace? Now, for you, I'm sure you could twist around and make the good words sound like, yes, it's peace. I want you to not even trust that. Just, I want you to find it. I want you to start to say, Spirit, thank you for showing. Oh, now remember the Centurion angels that came with me to Australia? They're around you now, right now. They're saying, we'll be your buffer. When's the last time you called them in?
Yesterday, when I got my flu shot and my COVID booster on Friday. People don't do that at the same time. So like,
I'm surprised they allowed it.
Yeah. So yesterday was, I was on death's door. I was delirious. I was,
okay. Thank God that's passed.
Yep. So I was like, help.
Okay. I just have to check. Oh, actually, you're doing pretty good. All right.
Okay.
Now you're going to have to test yourself. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to do finish doing some healings, and you're just really are going to have to catch yourself. Now taking that full responsibility. And it's good, always good talking to you, hon. And I like baby Yoda there. Little eyeballs. I felt like I'm being watched. I looked down.
I grew because it's an alien.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Oh my God, that takes too many memories. Okay, never mind. All right, bye, hon. Okay, so getting on target, getting back onto things. Okay, so the next person would be, oh, I'm so hot. Would be, if I get it right. Okay, so Angela Allen will be next. Oh, and then before we get to Angela Allen, we want to find out whether she wants to come in the room or not. We have the first of the month, and the first of the month is, oh, goodness gracious, can't open them. We're going to find out. This is the 15-minute one. Okay, so I'm going to reach in and find out, because you guys shared, because every time you shared, and every time that whatever they allow me to have, I put them in here so that you can win a chance to win a 15-minute. Why do they stick to? Oh, got one. Oh, is that one? That feels like two. No, I'm going to say that's one. Oh my God! Of all the people that. Amy Jensen, you won. Amy Jensen, if you're here, you won. People who pay it for, okay, so the people that pay, like Angela and all those people pay, they get a chance to get a 30-minute free session with me off the air. So, yes, that feels like one. Okay. Oh, Kevin! Kevin has won a 15-minute. Kevin, you have won a 15-minute. We'll have to notify those two. So thank you very much for playing along. And from today, all the names go back in, or new names can get put in. Okay, so now we're going to have you come in the room. Excellent. Haven't seen you in a long while. Okay. Let me get the name or the thing. And congrats on the winner, Nikki, then Anita. So it was very good. She paid it forward, Awesome. Get to, yeah, la 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 la. Here we go. My brain. Anybody new that's here? You want your 2-minute? Let me know now so I can get there. Let me go in here, and like I said, if you're new, you get 2 minutes. And we're going to go into, there we go. I'm getting there. Slow as. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to have to find you, Miss. Why I can't. There you are. Gotcha. I don't know if she feels nervous or what. I just feel all of a sudden very nervous. Oh, Amy. Yeah, I like the fact that you have your new name. That's cool. So you'll have to come into the room for your 15 minutes. That'll be awesome. We just have to get a hold of Kevin. Wait, which one's which, Kevin? Oh, Kevin is the 30-minute off the air, correct? Yeah, I need to not separate the names. It's not good. All righty. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm not usually. Usually I fill in the blanks by talking, but not today. So getting out in the world, I'm on TikTok. I'm putting a bunch of 3 minutes up on, it's called Shorts in YouTube, but it's also on YouTube. So you want to watch all the old ones. They're broken down in different kind of segments. It's taken forever, but I'm breaking them up into, so if you want to hear an old reading of yours, you probably go through and look at the 3-minute shorts, or in TikTok and watch that. Healings or in Spirit Speaks, they're all on there. So if you happen to be in the area, and yeah. What else do we have? Yeah, okay. So the difference between the two, tribal is going to be your landing. This is where you gotta start. And if you get into academy, where all the rest of it, the prerequisites of learning about how to be an authentic human, really diving in deeper about connecting the energies, you have learning all about, once you start getting the basics, you move up the color of the belt, and you can learn. Once I know you started to really understand your authentic self, seeing the differences, really moving forward, in learning how to hook up your axis, learning how to know when your axis is off, then you can go on to the other ones. You can learn all the healing tools of the 6S therapy to source point healing, learning all of what it is to use a pendulum and a muscle testing, energy medicine. There's tons of different ways, talking about just chakras, talking about just meridians. There's a ton of stuff just that slowly being built. The the diamond essence. It's a very diamond essence. Oh, I think that's what we're going to call it. But anyways, it's the diamonds that are in the body that when they get to be activated and healed the certain points, then you can allow yourself to move into discernment and really move beyond judging. You get more into what it means to be a spiritual human. I mean, that list of stuff goes on, and you get to have certification, and you'll be able to be healers. We're creating a healers. I'm not exactly sure. I just know that we're a phoenix, so we're going to be rising. Not sure exactly how to call it or what to call it, but I know it is going to happen. You're going to learn how to become spiritual investigators. You can learn how to become a way shower, a way seer. All of these different levels. So, but in tribal, it is those people that want to get their feet wet, that don't really want to get involved, but want to watch the videos. People that sometimes just pay just because they want to have that support or wants to give me support, which I appreciate. There, you get 4 live videos, and we talk about, I think meditation may end up being a little different. First of the month, we usually get a card read, not quite always a live moment. But if I put up a video, there's a classroom that you can start off right from the beginning of starting to evaluate yourself and look at it and start going through and doing the healings. We have a soul coaching where it is just where we're going to be doing about a lot of healing in tribal. Then we have a question and answer that can really open up and help you go healing deeper. Then there is more hands-on with the soul coaching as well, like I said, and with the soul self-empowerment tools. These are to walk you through, maybe do a healing session with you. a lot of healing to balancing the energies out. That there's a ton that's happening there. Now, once you start to establish this, this will be your room where you're going to be able to have your library, where you're going to be, you'll get to have that, and that'll be yours. You move into the academy, then you can choose different little things after you pass the prerequisite. Again, that'll hold your library. You go a little bit further. Oh, it's asking you to sign in. Okay, wow, interesting. So I thought you would click the link. Did you see the link I sent you? And it's asking you to sign in. Let me get you another link that might be different and might be because of your phone. I'm not sure. Let me get back to this screen. All right, if you open that up and you put in the number, oh, that's a long one. Jeez, oh Pete. And it didn't even type it in. Why? Who knows? That number, and then we'll get you the passcode. The passcode. Okay. I don't even know if that's right now. Hold on, I'll get you the passcode in just a second. Because I forgot. Yes, I got it. Okay. Then that's the passcode. Try that. Okay, get back to the right screen. It depends on how serious you are about how you want to do this. The importance of the tribal, it's not a joke. It's more laid back. You can have hands on. That's great. You can have your hands off. Do it at your own pace. And the seriousness of getting yourself into this healing state, it's not just here, let's do a meditation. No. Oh, here, try. No, this is what makes the difference. I mean, other people, I really don't know how to explain it. What makes the difference when you, those that are in tribal versus other things you may have been in, what makes it different? You get the quality, you get the quantity, and you begin to learn how you can move into becoming a spiritual human. Very important to get the basics. It's like karate. That first level is the white belt. It is meant to be getting your feet wet. It's new beginnings, and then you start to blossom. But you have to take the basics and lay down the foundation. So you'll move from rigidity to fluidity. You'll learn from being a kindergartner to a master. You're going to move through the levels of competencies and understanding the learning, the growth process, so that you can start balancing those 6 levels or 6 things that you need, the primal needs that you have, this, safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, space, and I'm sure I missed one somewhere. Okay, now I'm not sure what the sign in is. Hopefully that new way of doing it has helped. Now, any other questions for it, let me know. Now, like once you get tribal, under getting that part and growing, and then you move into academy when it opens, you can then go in and take the prerequisites in those courses, and then you can move into, and once you start there, you move into a community. Now, you still need tribal is your basic library aspect and all of the foundation work. But then you move into the community, which then once you understand tribal a little bit more and the way that we're doing our best to communicate in tribal, we're kind of slow at it, but that might be just, I don't know. We'll get there. You'll move into this community where you can see behind the looking glass. So I can go into major details in a deeper sense so that you can start catching on that flow stream. And when you get more and more exposed, like in tribal, to the energy field, you will then be able to hold that frequency so much easier. So much easier. Oh man, I was hoping to see Angela. Let's see where we at. Okay. All right, so are you on Chrome? Are you on the phone? Chrome works. Samsung phone works. Sometimes you have to download the app if you're, then you have to sign in. So you may have to, you know, have an account. And now you don't have to pay for that, you know, it's free to sign in. See what happens. But I can do it this way, and then, oh, I know how you do it. I can call you, and then it'd be voice only if you want to do that route. Because if that's the case, we can do that. Okay, so how about if I do that? I give you a call, since you're not able to sign in. So there's always ways to doing things, and I think that's fascinating that we can do that. I'm pretty sure I can do that. I just have to get over here and look for you here. Let's see, I hook the volume up. All right, get ready, Angela. I'm going to call you. Yes, I like what that Amy just wrote. I'll get to that in a minute. Tribal is so important. I have had, yes, you have to get the groundwork leg. You want to ask anybody. She knows because she started out with me a while back. I was in another group and paid about the same and didn't get anything close to what I've received from Brenda. Brenda helps you to learn what you don't know and the things you don't understand. And she explains so you do understand. And most times you get more than an hour. Oh, yes, I guarantee an hour, but chances are, if you know me in spirit, please, it goes up to about 2 to 3. But time goes by so fast. Bam. And I've been with other instructors, you're like, 10 minutes? Oh, God. We're still, but for some reason, spirit just makes this, whoa, and you're like, whoa. All right, Angela, I believe I have you correct. I'm going to give you a call. I'll go from there. Oh, I have sparkles. Oh, call ended. Okay. We'll see what happens. She'll tell me what she'd like to do. We'll see. Or even if, oh, sorry, it may not even be about camera. So I can call you again by just the phone. Is that better? Uh-oh, gotta get the volume up. No, I got it up. I can barely hear you. What's happening here? Oh, yes, I will accept that. Hi, darling. Oh, you're looking good. Okay, now hopefully I can hear you. How can I help you?
Yeah, got issues with like the abandonment issue.
Okay, we're going to work on abandonment issue. Well, oh, wow. Okay, you, them. Ooh, when? Okay, interesting. The people, when you're growing up, you're about 2 years old. I'm actually I can feel how other people have been abandoned, and your nervous system took it on, because it says the way they reacted was like they built false realities around it, false excuses and reasonings, or like, well, I know why they did that, and they came up with horrendous stories. But what does it do to you? What it did was that it taught you to sour grape. It taught you to be in negative space. Does that make sense? Hold on, she's moving into a different space of the house. And then we'll be able to talk to her. Okay, so can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
All right. So did you ever feel like people talk about sour grape? Do you know what sour graping means?
Yeah.
Okay. So did people do that when you were growing up that you knew of? Okay. So they somehow they explained it that way. And I'll tell you, honey, you look really good.
My hair fell out for long COVID,
Ah, really?
and it's growing back.
Good. Well, I like it. Nice style. Oh, I think so. Okay, my dear. Okay, so, oh, you know what's interesting? Okay, you had COVID, and just now, as soon as you said that, somehow it's connected to this abandonment. That's sour. It's not just sour graping. It is how your brain, the first gateway up here, the cranium, had, yeah, it was forced to readjust. I'm getting it now. Okay, so are you in the mood to heal, or are you just in the mood to getting information, and then I'll give you the healing tools? What would you like?
Heal.
Okay, so I want you to take, and I want you to hold L3D. That's left wrist, third position, nice and soft, okay? Okay. Now, as you hold that up there, very good. As you hold that up there, I want you to notice how the mind just keeps running. And it's building false realities. What if she doesn't love me? What if this happens? What if the fear? Can you hear all the what ifs?
Mhm.
And then when I feel like when you voice your opinion, then it's like you feel very small. Like I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
And I want you to hold on to that just for a moment and notice the number, 10 being the worst.
7.
Okay, it's a 7. Now I want you to notice that you have to keep readjusting yourself. It's as if you're in pain and you got to move. Can you feel how you got to constantly move?
Mhm.
And then when you start to do that, you start to get over concerned. Oh my God, am I doing it wrong? And notice that it's just mind just keeps building false realities.
Yeah.
Okay. Just notice that. Just be in that space, remove, transcend, and let it go. Wow. Now you can bring in the sour graping because I can hear it. It's like if you feel a certain way, other people are sour graping about it. Whoa. That's interesting because it's literally taken my voice away. So like it's like that's the only voice that can be heard. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Oh wow. And you're like, stop. I can see you're readjusting yourself. You're pulling back. You're starting. You're not fully shutting down, but you're reacting of readjusting. Oh, I'll try something different. I'll do this. Does this make sense?
Yeah, don't fruits.
Oh, I'm just starving now. My whole body is. I got to eat. So, do you eat when you get worried or stressed?
Yeah.
Okay, notice anxiety in the stomach because I'm like looking for food and I'm thinking, wait a minute. That I think that's how you coped or something because my stomach, I'm like starving feeling. So that tells me that there's a certain amount of emotions that are dumped there and you can feel them. And you can feel that loftiness of how they speak and how they won't shut up. Oh, I don't know who does sour graping, but man, you don't like it. It's creating anxiety in your stomach and it's like pushing and denigrating and badgering. Can you feel it?
Mhm.
They just don't shut up. I don't know who this is, but holy crap, you're like, oh my God, just stop. And a lot of times I can feel your body wanting to check out. Your mind and your body's like, I don't want to do this. Feel the habit, remove, transcend, let it go. Feel the habit. Begin to notice that it's just, As you start to remove, transcend, and let it go, we're going to ask the body to start to clear out this, I feel like it's an ancestral curse, the constant, everybody in the family does it. Everybody does it. Everybody remove, transcend, and let it go. Feel the lofty of the words that you're supposed to talk like this to your kids, to your loved ones, to your family. Remove, transcend, and let it go. And notice that, oh God, the anxiety, I got to be around these people. I got to do this again. Remove, transcend, let it go. As you start to do this, there you go. Start saying I, and then say your name. Say, I am. Just start saying your name, pulling it from all that negativity. I am this. And now I want you to give yourself permission. Say, I give myself permission to have internal. Ooh, your body's not allowing me to say it. Hold on. Just sit there and claim your name. And I give myself permission for internal locus of control. And this is like a compass inside of ourselves. There you go. Yes, your body goes, you mean I can take my power back? Yes. And you get to direct. So take I give myself permission to have internal locus of control. I don't need the outside to tell me. I no longer need to feel awkward. Remove, transcend, and let it go. Oof. I notice your little self says, you mean I don't have to abuse myself by telling myself these negative things all the time? I says, that's correct. Because those words were put in there so that you would readjust, so that you would give the behavior that they were asking for. And your little one's like, seriously, you mean I don't have to be awkward? I can just see their game and decide not to play? Yes. Remove, transcend, and let it go. Your little self is pissed. It's like, seriously, you mean all these years I've abused myself because I thought I had to? Yeah, you don't have to. She's like, I mean, she's over there pissed in the corner. So if you all of a sudden need to express being upset, notice I don't have to readjust. That is correct. You can ask, you take your hand on, what number do you have? What number do you feel is left? 2. I want you to notice that you're learning. I'm asking Spirit, can we take it down anymore? And they said, well, yes and no. She needs to learn how to trust herself, because you were taught that you're not supposed to. I know better than you. That's the old paradigm. And you're like, hold on, now that you've gotten older, you can talk to your little self and say, hold on, I do too know how to trust myself. So you're going to have to start raising your little one, because, I mean, it's pissed in the corner going, seriously?
Is that why I've been in the pissed off mood?
Yes, I feel that's what it was. She's like, she's seeing the game and just stop pimping me. Do not lay that game down on me. I mean, I'm literally watching your body and your little self going, I was conned. And I feel that you've been hearing the sour graping. You've been hearing, really? That's your story. Really? I really, can you feel that? I mean, have you been doing that? Yes, you have been awakening. Good job. Good job. Even though it's supposed to be about abandonment, the thing is I think it was just disguised. And
I think it's basically, if there's a lot going on, head cold, chest infection, no taking medication anymore, and it's like
ooh. Well, you're looking good. You're looking good. And I'm like, because the idea of long COVID, right? Did they say that to you, that you'd have to put up with it?
What it is now I'm on a steroid inhaler.
Okay.
And they're trying me on that because of the breathing.
Okay. And what I'm looking at is that has to do with part of being always having to readjust. Got to catch your breath. You've got to readjust. And I feel like there's a part of you that's waking up going, no, I don't want to do this.
No.
Well, God, I wish you really were up on the screen. Okay, congratulations on moving along. I can feel it and I can see it. Glad that you stayed alive and are with us, because you had a hard such road. And congratulations on being married. And I think you look fabulous. I'm loving the hairdo and everything. Oh, it was good to see you, my dear. And thank you for the pay it forward. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay, all right, bye-bye, honey.
Bye.
Oh, she's looking so awesome. She really is. That is good. See, there's always more than one way we can do this. Okay. Now, so you can hear, we started out with wanting to talk about abandonment, but notice the story that herself saw, wrote down, and she observed and was conditioned by how other people did it. And she admitted at the end, whoa, yes, I'm waking up. I'm getting, her little self was pissed. At least now she understands why. Okay, let me get back to the right screen. Okay, so again, if anybody else is new here, you can get a 2-minute read right now if you just let me know. Oh, sure. I'm sure we shared it there. I'll do it anyway. Okay. What's happening there? Oops. New features. Okay. All right. Now, the next person is that we're going to do the pay it forward. Did anybody, so who's my 15-minute? Was that Amy? Yes. She'll probably want to go at the end. I got to find out. Sometimes I just feel so alone. That's why I feel like, where's it? I know you're here. I can feel it, but it feels weird. So Nita. Oh yeah, we'll get to the 1 minute. And if you can't wait around, you can always get on the list. Otherwise, thank you for staying with us. And remember, every time you share, your name goes into the jar for a chance to win a 15-minute with me. Now, I may end up, the more people we get, I may increase that, but we'll see, because right now we're still steady at a small numbers at this point. Okay, so Amy said she'll come on, so I got to find Nita, and then we'll have Amy come on last, I'm sure she doesn't mind. But if she does, she'll let me know. Who am I looking for? Nita. My little lucky winner. Awesome. We love pay it forwards because it benefits so many people. Me, the person that's receiving, the person that gave, they get something out of it, and anybody that's listening. And the growth can be wonderful. And this is what we're here for. We're here for empowering. We're here to support. We're here to show you another way to be. Okay. Very, very important. Ooh. We're going to get her voice. Oh, I hear her.
Hello.
Hello, my dear. How are you?
I am good. And yourself?
Good. So, wow, Spirit's like a little bold there. Hold on, I'm arguing with them. How can I help you?
I guess just what the spirit needs me to know next.
Okay, so they want to do a continuation on something that you've just been working on. And if you were looking back at stuff that you've been working on and you had some epiphanies, did anything with criticism come up?
Criticism?
It's about something, if you're not knowing, sometimes it makes you in a readjustment. I'm wondering if you're trying to, I know you're going to criticize, so I'll just readjust myself first. It's like when somebody says, oh, that's funny. Okay. So if you ever watch somebody and they're like, they want you to do something. So they're like, come on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. And so then you're like, oh, I hate that. So you're going to anticipate their next move so they won't do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing when it comes to, they're going to criticize. So you jump ahead and you're like, I'm going to avoid this, show them that I know what I'm doing and I don't have to do that when they, jump and run. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, that was good, that worked, but now you're moving into Nita, stronger in Nita, which means you're going to have to face the coping tool because you couldn't cope with. And I said, what couldn't you cope with? That. Okay, it feels like criticism. They're going to criticize if I'm not doing it right. Does that make sense?
Yes. I don't like being told what to do. Just let me do what I got to do. I already know what to do.
Okay, right. Now,
yeah.
Notice that personality. If I asked you if that was your nature, would you say yes? Or would you say, oh, wait a minute, that might be a result of?
I would say it's my nature, but not in the mannerism in which it comes out.
Exactly. And the thing is that when you look at energy, it is being controlled by the thing you couldn't control. And it just becomes this thing that is out of whack. Now, it is in your nature to know, be good
Mhm.
at it. Stop it. You can do this. But it's the idea of how you developed it is still in the root, is that. And you're like, "Ugh." Can you feel how your body wants to?
Jerk.
Yeah, and I'm biting like hell.
Yeah, because when I get in those modes, I bite down on my teeth.
Oh man, I feel like you grind them too. Is that true?
I do, yeah, when I get really pissed off because that prevents me
Okay.
from punching you in the face. Yeah,
Okay.
it gets like that. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I deal with it on a daily.
Okay. So now this is the thing. You are becoming more you, which means you're like, OMG, I don't want to be that anymore. Okay. I don't want to
Right.
go through these things. There's a problem though. You've got to decide if it's done serving you.
Totally.
Okay, which means that you're going to have to finally self-soothe and self-regulate that oh, that drives me crazy. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad you understand. All
yeah.
right. And I'm
No matter
asking,
who does it, I'm like, oh,
yeah, my whole body's like freaking out right here. And I'm thinking, okay, so I must be really holding like, oh, don't tell me I'm incapable. And I'm looking and I'm saying, does this have anything to do with, oh, see, and I'm looking for anxiety and any of that. And they said, no, just kind of listen to the story. I can't behave that way. I'm going to behave the way hell I want. And then it's the fighter in you. Okay.
yeah.
That's a good thing. But what they want you to heal is that when you were growing up, if anybody failed, oh, wait, this is going further. Remember we were talking about culture?
Yes.
Oh, I guess that's really strong all of a sudden. So did part of the culture was like, what do you didn't know that? What are you, stupid? I know that's not the words, but it's close. Do you know?
Kind of. It was more like you do what the man says, or you're like incapable. And even my mom said that my grandmother wouldn't like me because I was so rebellious. And I was like, well, poor grandma. Like,
Okay. So understand that when you go to heal this, this doesn't mean you have to be subservient. Now you came in to break the mold. You came
yeah.
in but you part of your coping tool was to be, I'm not going to show you my vulnerability. It goes back to being in charge first.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
All right, so now it's interesting. I've got this pain that's shooting right here. Now that's what a major gallbladder point there, and it's coming
Yes.
across my breast. It's saying that something about this is where I feel the emotion of. I feel like when you're 5 years old, there's this great big trapped emotion. It's right here, and it's like so. This is the inside. This is that idea, the beauty of bringing the quality of spirit through.
Mhm.
Oh, Jesus. So I'm looking, I said, is this the gallbladder? And the part on the side, they said, yes, the triple warmer is saying, I don't have stability. I hate this. Oh, wow, it's strong. And then it goes into how I blame. And I said, blame what? The body? No, I blame them. I blame that. So instead of taking the blame, you're going to dish it out. But at the same time, as you started getting older, you're like, yeah, that ain't gonna work either. Does that make sense?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's why I developed gallbladder issues.
Oh, I would say yes, because it's very strong. And now I'm looking in a little bit further, because this is gallbladder, but I'm looking here a little bit further, which is also the spleen. And as I'm feeling, because again, it's just like the left side. And I said, what's going on? They said, this is worry. I said, is that yours? No, worry, I'm not going to be able to have a good daughter. Or so did your parents feel like they failed?
I think my mom felt like that up to the point of her passing. I really feel like she felt like she could go because she felt like I was ready. Like she knew like I was gonna be okay and
Yeah, she
things were
does
gonna be
know that.
taken care of. But I feel like she doubted that side of me for so long because she denied me that side of being able to show her.
Exactly. And she's trying to tell me, she said, this has to do with culture. Okay. And I said, does it have to do with gender? Not per se. She says it was the culture where the way the women have to readjust. I says, tell me more. And they says, well, part of it was that I had to make her feel dispirited because I felt like she was too spirited. Does this make sense?
Yes. Oh
Okay.
my God, yes.
Okay, she says, and she had so much strength, and I figured I had to cut her at the quick sometimes to get her to not be so. She goes, sorry. She says, I thought, because I couldn't handle it, which I didn't know. I thought I could handle anything. I thought that was bad, so I thought I had to dispirited you because we were told culture too, or just country and culture. So it's more worldwide that was a bad habit, that the child was acting that way. Oh, you have a good child. You don't have a good child. She didn't like to hear the sound of that. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Oh,
She
most
said,
definitely.
oh yeah, that really got to her. And she says, you're grinding? Yeah, you got that from me, kid.
Yeah.
And she says, and that was such a heartache. She says, and I know you felt that heartache. And I look back, she says, I got to see how that put pain on you. I'm sorry. She says, I'm asking you to forgive, to accept my apology. Don't need to be forgiven. And, just let it go. Now,
Yeah.
before I let you go, man, I'm just having did your mom have a lot of digestion issues or?
My mom died from cirrhosis of the liver and it was non-alcoholic related.
Okay, did it
So it was
come up
really
a
a
lot in
surprise.
her lungs or her, was there a lot going on right here?
Yeah, the esophagus, it can, compromise the esophagus, causing little nodules and whatnot. And
Mhm.
you can get the hypertension, which causes the portal near the esophagus to enlarge. So
She just wants me to tell you, stop hiding behind that anger. I took it, you said no, but it's time to pass that on. Does that make sense?
yeah, she attempted to take it. She did take some, but she didn't take all of it. And I know that gave her peace knowing that she couldn't destroy all of it, because she shared with me that she was not along the lines of envious, but she admired my strength and my courage because it was a side of her that she could never display
Right.
and own.
Yeah, exactly. She said it correctly. And what what you said was, I couldn't display it. I didn't know how. And she says it's that fancy word. Arrested development. Thank you. I had my self-imposed limitations, she says, and I couldn't. It was like a brick wall. It felt like a curse. And she says
Yeah.
that was on me because I said I couldn't. And it was also on how she carried that ancestral stuff from that paradigm. Well, you have to behave that way. She says, keep breaking it. And she says, love your kids. She says she loves how you actually are now learning to look at your kids differently, better than what she said. She did. Does that make
Thank you.
sense? And she
Yeah.
just wants to give you that, I'm proud of you. Okay.
Thank you,
But
Brenda.
you're welcome. She says she's got to get that mask off. She says it's terrible. She says this is from mom. Have her hold L2D because she thinks she has lack of power, and she needs to get that out. And she has to take out the fact that I dispirited her. Okay. I said okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We're all in
Okay.
agreement.
Yes. Thank you so much. This was beautiful.
Thank you. And thank you for coming on. And I appreciate everything. Nikki for passing it on as well. She's crying. She's got little emojis up with little hearts. Okay. Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank
my dear.
you.
All right, we'll
Okay.
talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now that was good. I love listening to how spirit just brings. I just love it. Just love it. Okay, so if you're new here and you're looking for a 2-minute read, let me know. You can have it right now. You can have it right now. And I've got one link. Oops, let me get to the right room. And we're looking at Amy. Yes, I think I got them all. Yes. And we will look at, well, I gotta go back. Here we go. There you go. And not push the wrong button. Yes, I did. Here we go. Okay, now how does she win this? She won this because she shared, and every time you share, so she must have shared a lot. Because then your name is going to the your name's going to whatever that is, a box. So we had a lot of people that shared, and so we had a lot of names in the box. I'm going to have to get a bigger box, I think, because. Hi. Oops. I can see you. I can hear
Speaker's
you.
not working. What?
You can't hear me? Oh, we hear you just fine. All right, she's got to get her speakers working, and we will see.
I'll be back.
Okay, she'll be right back. Oh, hey, Sonia, how you doing? Yes. Yeah. Okay, so the card drawing, I was trying to figure out, I'm thinking I might slip in the card drawing with the very first thing we're going to do tomorrow in Tribal. In Tribal, we'll do our best to do some type of meditation or something, or, you know, spirit takes over and gives you the what you guys want and need, depending on who shows up. Well, and I'm also putting all of the meditations that I've ever done into a certain area and in the academy as well. Oh, okay. I was gonna say it felt like Nita's mother, but now I'm wondering if it's Amy's mom, because it's like, whew, it's like no woman. Okay. Is your speakers working now?
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. I can hear you now. Now, it's funny, your mother, there's several movies. I'm just going to put it out. Did your mother, yes, just shut up. She has a tendency to think she wants to try to jump on my body. That's not allowed.
Oh.
But she's like, well, it worked in the movies. I'm like, it's my boundary, Chicky. My boundary, you can't get in. And good Lord. So she said, let me hit the timer because you won. So thank you for sharing as many times as you did. So here we go. Now, what do you want to work on? You must have been bitching. I'm sorry. Just before you go on to any further, your mother's like, I've been watching her lips flap and been bitching. She needs to heal that. I'm like, okay, now you stand in the corner. And I'm going to ask Amy. She has her own voice. She has a new name.
What does she think of
Amy.
that?
That's like I think about when you do certain hairstyles. Does that help? Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't like it, but that's all right. It's not her name. So
Exactly. But then she gets it. Spiritually, she gets it. Oh, I get it. Amy. But she says, no, she can't say God-given name. She's hemming and hawing. It's not your show. It's not about you. Good Lord. Is that the sign? Because it's always about you.
Mhm.
All right, you're going behind the fence. Sorry, the little gate over there. Nikki says, ooh, Amy's in trouble.
Yeah, no, I'm not in trouble.
Okay, all right, Amy. What were you going to say before your mother started flapping her lips saying, this is amazing? No. Is that part of what happens?
I think it was. I'm not 100% sure, but I was gonna say that thing that happened to me last night.
Mhm.
After, well, I was talking to somebody and I went to bed and I laid down and I got so flippin' dizzy. I thought I was going to lose my cookies.
Ooh. Ooh. So I'm just going to look at something, and it says the readjustment. Okay, again, I can't tell you how much this is on the planet, and we have to get it out. I'm looking at the drum in your ear, and I asked if it moved, and they said, no, you were remembering something. And I said, tell me more. And they said, well, it has to do with a particular story. And so, you know, the word metamere. So here's the thing. You've been running from something. And I says, well, what in the world are you talking about? Lofty sound. Now, they didn't just say energy. They said sound. And I said, so is that the drum going off? A lofty sound. So you were triggered by somebody, by a command or a word. Like when my husband says to me, hey, and he said my last name, and the way he put the word, he says, oh yeah, just become obsessed being and I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden I did. I feel like you did it too on whatever the trigger word is, something to do with lofty sound. And I feel in a way certain words were used. So were you talking to somebody just prior to that happening, and were they hysterical at all? Or talking about something in a very pitched
Talking about
voice?
something.
Okay, so notice the sound or the pitch of how they delivered it, because they're saying that it has something to do with speed, how fast or slow the way they were speaking.
Well, it was text, so.
Text, okay, that means who did you have in your head that read it? And I feel like maybe your father may have been present. The thing is that there's a filter. And so when you read it, it wasn't through Amy's voice. It was through the filter of the person. Like I said, okay, did she feel the emotion when she felt it before? Okay, then when she started reading, no, it was, I think you had him on your mind, something to do with that. And so when you went to read it, you morphed into, and then the conversation, whatever the words were. Do you know the lofty words? Because they're saying that you started to, because my whole bottom half of me feels like I gotta pee. I gotta run. I gotta take off.
Yeah, it was, this person was telling me about her husband, and then I went to, oh, that's interesting because my aunt was there too
Oh,
in hospice.
okay.
And I'm like, and I was trying to wrap my brain around, and then I went to another person that was in hospice at home, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I was trying to put all of these pictures together.
Right. Now stop. I'm going to tell you what you did. Do you know what false meaning is?
Mhm.
False realities.
Mhm.
So when you were taking and putting them all together, okay, you did what's called hysterical. You took and felt the energies off of different pictures, memories, situations, and you borrowed. And you put it, they came together like, identify it this way. Now, I also watched you go through an imagination station, which means there's a part of you that took those and you went somewhere, borrowed, brought it up, went somewhere. What did you imagine?
Did I imagine? Not sure what I imagined. Like,
Okay, for instance, you're talking about, you were talking about hospice.
mhm.
Okay. Is hospice in a toilet or bedroom, or is it in a hospital? Okay.
Mhm.
Play with it.
Yeah.
Okay. In the hospice, was there love? Was there beatings? Was there no care? Play with me. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a part of you that kind of started doing the what if, because I
Mhm.
also see that you went down and you got data, you pulled up a piece of memory, and then you went over and picked up something. There's emotions off those. Remember when you commented on my thing? I said, every book, every movie you read.
Mhm.
So when you recalled memories,
Yeah. And yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember.
you
it
did
as
not want to
well.
hear something. Now, let me ask you, why was your dad somehow involved in any of that? Mom says, she's talking about you. Stop it. Oh, so gossiping. Something to gossip or tattling or tattling. Ooh, hold on.
He didn't have to be in hospice, although he was in a swing bed after he broke his back, but not after he broke his neck.
What was his opinion of them? Well, he had a lot of opinions.
Oh my God, he was the most opinionated man on the planet, I think.
Okay, now my stomach's getting into knots. I think you're recalling something without realizing you were recalling something.
He did not like anybody that was not like him.
Okay, you're petrified of the same thing.
The mask.
Yes. I know you know that you don't have to, but what made you go there is that you're petrified. And I said, so what do you mean? Well, he made you believe that you had to be very fearful of all these people. And he has a lot to do with why you will jump to be in when something's wounded. And you are one friend named Dee, and you went right there. I mean, over the edge. And we're all like, whoa, get back here, Amy. What's going on? And you're like, well, I don't know what's wrong with you. You should be upset like I am. Okay. Yeah. So the question, so you've been healing and not doing that as much, but my whole body's shaking right now. But there's something to do with his opinionation, that the fear that, or all of this about how he thinks of people.
Yeah, it was, if he said jump, you said, Daddy, how high?
Okay. Now here's the thing. There's a part of you that's afraid that you want to step into your own role, but you're afraid that of that.
Yep.
And it's time to stop running. Now, you know how to silently brood. That was part of how you coped, handled the deal, that you could not be Amy when it came. Well, that's why you appeared. Okay, sorry. When you came into this world, stop. What? Did you get chastised for singing a Christmas song that wasn't a Christmas song? Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin lady.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really bringing this up. She goes, tell her about that time, and then she got, so she's going on telling me about how it really wasn't beautiful, the behaviors, or you didn't live up to the standards to how they laid it down.
I wasn't the perfect little girl.
So that's why you, oh, my head. Oh, okay. Oh, what are we doing? Oh my God. Oh, you got on your mother's nerves. Mommy or daddy, both of them.
Both of them.
And that's why it's.
I wasn't the perfect little girl.
Okay, so now because this is the right brain, are we talking about right brain? No, we're talking about left. Okay, so left side of the, no, that's the right side. What are you talking about? The right side of the head, that's male. Oh, she's so confused right now. She's confusing me. Don't. Okay. God bless it. All right. I'll feel it, but that's it. We made her so incompatible that she doesn't even know her left from her right. Now, she really, really had an opinion. She knew how to say, as to say, I'm disappointed, and that would hurt. Her demeanor was loud, but not saying a word, and it would hurt, and it would blow out your aura if you disappointed mom and dad in any way. Oh my God, my stomach. Okay, back off. They wanted you to be dispirited. They wanted to take your weak, they wanted to make you weak. I know. That was just part of that era. You gotta despirit them, and well, it worked the wrong way. Yeah, but it also worked the wrong way because. Okay, hold on, my stomach. Mom says that we understand that you've been wearing masks and we shamed you in putting those on. We guilt you in putting those on. I could not breathe because I couldn't take in life unless it was constructed. And so was it her or him that was looking for a fight? Which one was so narcissistic? Which one's narcissistic? Which one would sit there and pick a fight because they had to hold the power to show that they were strong?
My dad. And that's why mom had her lung issues, because she couldn't pull in. And yeah, so that, oh, wow. So it had nothing oh,
there it is. Whatever did you get? I can breathe now. What'd you just get?
My mom had idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. She had COPD. She had alpha-1 and emphysema.
And interestingly enough, if idiopathic, it means they have no known source.
Right.
Which means energetically, what she just did to me was to help me feel what she felt from him. She says, but 3,000 times worse. We just gave you an example. Okay, gotcha.
So okay. And she, having those 4, having one of those is, nigh on to impossible, but having 2 is, the odds are, but having all 4, that unheard of.
Well, he sucked the life out of me. She's not in me, folks. It's just that she's trying to sound like, oh, but honey, did she have a certain way of talking?
Yeah, she was very soft spoken, but if she would use certain tones that would cut like knives and sickles. And holy shit.
He says, I had to get you to shut down because I didn't want. Oh, your excuse at the time is that you were trying to save your daughter from having to pick up and to take on what you did. Boy, here goes my voice.
Oh my God. I can see that though, because I was a replacement for.
Do I got my voice? Yeah, okay.
I was a replacement for my sister that passed away when she was 3.5 or 4. And by mom putting up that barrier of stifling me, kept me safe from that.
Yes, because it's a safety. It was a safety thing. Again, it's not going to make any logical sense, but that period of time has I was like, what is that? That period, Jesus. Okay, that period of time, it's a fucking alarm. What's going on? Why does she want me to be mean to her? Okay, that may be you and dad language, but no. She's trying to really put something across here.
That was what they would do. They would use words that weren't meant to hurt, but they would hurt.
Yes, because he treated her just like she was just dumb. She just said, well, what was that? And he's like, well, duh, woman, type thing. And then criticize and hurt. And then she would be like stunned and take
she
it.
would shut down with a migraine.
Yes, because she's like, yeah. And he would suck. Oh, God.
Yeah, he sucked the life out of her.
Yes.
Oh, that's why he said that he should have been the first one to go.
Well, he didn't have guilt. All right, so you want to make sure that you stop being dispirited and you're going to start learning to do L2S. Okay, so I want you to see how you felt dispirited, and then I want you to understand what that means, and I want you to feel like you can. That's I think why I asked you if you are owning or giving yourself permission to have your own internal locus of control. Okay, so that was fun.
Not.
And What's that?
Not.
Yes, it was. It was. It was fun. It was exciting.
We're both wearing black.
Well,
And I got dressed before you did.
we have a tendency to pick up color streams. Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun talking to you, and we'll talk to you real soon. And I'm glad that you won. And thank you for sharing and sharing me more. And we'll get that message out there. All right. We'll talk to you later, and also see you in Tribal tomorrow. Yep.
Yes.
All right. Bye, hon.
Bye.
So internal locus of control, you can have, there's different languages. We're not going to talk about it too much, but maybe another day, but just understand that if you are run by your outs, the external, it'll always not really guide you to the healthiest thing for you. You need to have that control back. So that's another thing you're going to learn, and along the way is you're going to learn to get your power back. Okay. Oh, hey, Amber, how you doing? It did look like the good old days. Okay, so now I'm going to turn to do the 1 minutes. And again, if you're new, let me know. That's not the screen. I'm going to just push every screen button there is until I find the right one. Yeah, why not? Here we go. So, Miss Patty. I'm gonna have to be quick about this. Okay, there we go. Miss Patty. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what that means, but work. And then there's a certain amount of pride in learning to be proud of it. And but you were taught to be petrified because there's going to be some type of criticism. And they were doing the negative side of, you know, oh, look at all her attempts in vain for trying to, oh, look at that. Oh, you know, and then there's the, oh, isn't she conceited? So you have all these thoughts that are running around your head that they're just what ifs. And it's because in a way you felt these emotions off of people. And so as you learn to be that empath, you have to learn that these are just emotions. You do not have to absorb in, and not everything you hear happens to be that story. So you have to start letting that go, because you used to just take offense to it, and you used to just take inhibit pain. But I want you to hold R1S, and I want you to say, you know what, this isn't mine, return to sender. And I want you just to pull it out, do the cord switching, or do just even the treasure chesting, get it out, get it out, get it out. Because every time you take offense, it feels lofty to you. And then as you feel offense, it gets more painful. Well, the chains are broken. You don't have to be in prison. Don't be attached into having that behavior anymore. You can change this. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. And we have Miss April Lynn. Here we go. Miss April Lynn. What we have is that must, what? You? No, you're showing what? The outside. So we have an oscillation energy. So the vibration around you is that people are walking around going, oh, we must hold grudges. Ooh, this is the belief system. We are supposed to hold grudges. And you're weaving in, bobbing in and out, going, no, you don't have to. You don't have to. And what's happening is you're starting to feel incompatible with the people that you thought you could be compatible with. And they're saying it's time to take the filter down. And they want you to hold L3D, because it's like your kryptonite. It's like as soon as you start to feel it, you can feel like it's your kryptonite. And they said, again, they want you to hold, hold L3S for self-justification. Hear that little tick, 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 tick that happens to be there because you don't need it there. And then they said, also notice that what grudge is supposed to do is diminish the character. It's having a conversation, a gossip, just diminish the character. And they said, when you hold L3S, you're going to start to notice that you do not have to build realities, false realities out of these stories. Okay. Ooh, we have a first-time viewer. Thank you, Sonia. I thought so. Okay, I'm going to jump over to the first timer. Is that Laura Caston Valdiva? Thank you very much, Sonia. I appreciate it, hon. Okay, here we go. There's a certain amount of petrified. Now, as I'm feeling petrified, there's something going on with my breast. And it's like, whoa. And I says, well, tell me more. And they said, well, this left side here there's a story, and I'm reading the story first, and it says I have to run from. I says, tell me what you mean. And I says, well, there's this feeling, is it ancestral culture? No, there's a feeling that people do, the way people speak, they sound like they curse. And I says, well, what are you talking about? Well, when I was 3 years old. Okay, so now your 3-year-old is telling me that it sits in the habit field. And I said, what are you talking about? People are lofty. People are just lofty, and I have to give, and they make me feel like shit, and I can't nourish myself. And the breast represents about nourishing the self. The left side has to do with the yin, has to do with this. Can I take and have an idea of my own? Can I allow myself to have that expression? Can I go further than just hearing it in my own head? There's something going on here. And I says, tell me more. And they says, well, it has to do with love, and it has to do with to be. And it's like, I feel something that has to do with, I'm going to throw up. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be me, but not be vulnerable where I can feel that they're going to hurt me. And I said, okay, so right now you feel that, oh, so that's right there. It's the vulnerability. Well, are you ready to heal that? No. Okay. What do you want me to know about it? I'm just incompatible. I can just feel this incompatible. And then as I try to be me, I just feel this incompatible. So you believe in the incompatible. Yes. So are you ready to heal that? Yes. So in the nerves, it has everything to do with, I can't stop obsessing. I can't stop giving or putting this mask on and having to be this egoic people with people. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I want me. Okay. So to do that, I need you to go to L1D. Because you're new, the left wrist, first position, you're gonna put your thumb right here. Okay, so it's not on the side, it's right here. You're gonna push in deep, finger here, wrap the 3 around. Then you're gonna touch the top of your head and then drop your hand on your forehead. And I just want you to sit there, remember, thumb deep, and I just want you to sit there and feel, get in your hells and measure what I was just said. Because they said there's just so much going on. I don't want to feel vulnerable. Okay, I just don't want to feel vulnerable. Okay, so then everything just changes. It just becomes this habit field. And so once you start breaking that emotional chemical peptide, you should start having more clarity so you can break it. Which page? I don't know what you're talking about. Main page. Oh, yeah, if you want to be put on the waiting list, just in case we miss, but I'm looking down and looking at the screen, I mean. Okay, did that make any sense to you, Lorna? Why do I want to call you Lorna? Lora? That was weird. So the next person on my list is Nancy, Miss Nancy. Okay, Nancy. Behind hopelessness, I don't want to readjust anymore. So are you even aware that you're doing this? No. Tell me what. Well, I don't like that feeling of feeling incompatible. So, or that helpless feeling. Can you help me with that? Yes, I can. So R2S. And so apparently your body's trying to tell me that it knows what helplessness is. And so R2S it. And they said that you feel that way when whoever's in your space is like screaming, yelling, hysterical, throwing, projecting their shit. And your body's going, oh, it doesn't want to feel this, and it doesn't know how to stop this. So on top of that, while you do this one, when you're done, I want you to go ahead and start doing the Celtic weave. You've got to kick these people's energies out of your space, okay? And then I want you to connect in heaven and earth so you can get your energies of your axis and things start to get balanced, kicking the energies out, and it starts to harmonize. Also, I want your finger in your forehead and your belly button, push in and lift up. And what I want you to do there is I want you to just sit there and smile, chin up. Yeah, I think that would be the best. Okay. Let's go to the next thing. Why is that screen stuck? My screen is, well, I guess that's out of the running. That's fine. Amanda. All right, Miss Amanda. Absent-minded. I don't want to go there. I just don't know what to do with these. This is who I am. I can feel the dump of energy. I can feel it and feel it. Well, which ones are you feeling? Okay, so they're going to get very specific. 6B, they says, I can just feel this overwhelm. This overwhelm seems to be connected like a chain, and it's connected to the guilt. And as that's connected to the guilt, then it's connected to people, which then causes me to think I have to create and produce a particular outcome, which now it feels like an OCD. And then when I feel that, then I go into this feeling very inadequate. Take all of that, and then I want you to just roll it out 10 times. After you're done rolling out that 10 times, then you're going to hold L3D or L1D. And the reason you're going to hold that is because you've got it kind of like locked into your heart. Now we're going to pull it out of the energy field, and then we're going to help you pull it off your heart. Okay. It's kind of like what's stopping you from really diving in. Okay, Miss MJ. Okay, now, MJ Stevens, there's a heartache. Now, it's funny because this heartache has a kinetic feel that's about intensity of this heartache. And I says, well, don't they all? And they says, well, it's diminishing because of time. But I watched something the other day, and I realized I'm holding on. So you must have been not fully aware, but you must have been aware at some point about this heartache, because you're showing me that you're holding on. And I says, what do you mean? And they said, I'm spinning out, and I know this. And I says, tell me more. Well, I created a phobia. So there's irrational fears tied to it. I said, okay, keep going. I just feel uncomfortable. And I literally, as soon as I said that, I felt like my whole bottom half of me depixelated. Weird feeling. And I says, well, okay, well, what do you want? What? Well, so you stuttering something about I have to give up expectations. You finally at the end says I have to give up expectations and I have to get back up, and I'm just gun shy. Well, there's a lot here to heal. Where do you want to go? Hold L2S, because it's like, I don't want this reality. I reject that in my reality. This is my reality and can't stand that reality. So I'm gun shy and I don't know where to go. So L2S, left wrist, second position. All right, Kelly. Oh, well, you know, see here. They said that there's a inappropriate, like laughing, inappropriate mannerism, but it's also an auto response. And they said when that kicks in, it's not that dramatic, but what happens is it's you running away. So you're in stress mode of running away. And at the same time, you're suppressing it because you can't do this, and you're not supposed to laugh at funeral, but you're suppressing it. But what's happening is that they're asking you to address your 6-year-old. You're meeting up with your fractured self, and that's part of a hell loop that you've been going through. And that part that broke away because there was a lot of lofty energy that said you had to. And so you kind of been stuck over here and like numbing this pain. I said, are you ready to start healing it? And they said, well, I build a lot of false realities with it. And I've lived in this fractured part of me all my life. So it must have been quite a bit. And now I have to break it down. And it's kind of like, feels unfair that I have to give that part of myself up. But if it's a false, is it really you're giving it up? And I says, what's the rewards? He says, to find you. So they're saying L2S, Kelly, L2S. All right, so go to the next person, Nikki, Miss Nikki. Okay, so Nikki, it says love unreceived. You have a filter, and I don't know if I feel like you judge that, okay? So you're like, I put it out there, and okay, love received. Okay, they get more. Love not received. Nope, you don't get more. And they said you're going into of how you measured things or you did things. It was a certain program that you kind of like developed. Well, I don't want to say you developed. I see that you kind of watched somebody else do it. I says, so you've kind of watched it through the family. It's like whoever was watching you. It's like whoever it was, you had to readjust. And I says, tell me more. And they said, well, now it's like, I have to make sure that it doesn't come, whatever bad stuff is, it don't come into my future. My future's here. So it's like, I got to make sure. So I feel like you're watching something. I know this sounds like it's all out of the place, but they said, just tell her to use hope therapy. Yeah, you're funny. Absolutely. Hold on. Where are they going? And what are you pointing at? I can't see. Oh. They want you to heal the uncertainty. There's some kind of control that uncertainty has. And they said it's connected to how you had to save yourself. And they said L2D. Okay. All right. Let's go to Crystal with a K. Crystal with a K. Love emotions. Love emotions. And there's a lot of stories. Okay. There's a lot of genetic things that is just so genetic is in the system. Yes. Wow, you've had a lot of, okay, so you're following about how people are meant to respond, fractured self. So you're passing this down, a certain amount of helplessness. This is weird. Are you even being you? No. Crystal, I need you to say your name. I want you to claim your name. I want you to claim your name. And I want you to notice if you're giving up on your expectations, I want you to say, why do I have to? Where did this program? Where did I learn it? Start questioning, because it's starting to, there's a party that's like, I'm done with that. I need you to also say, I want you to tap here and I want you to tap here, do it several times and say, I give myself permission to have internal locus of control. I just kind of keep tapping that, okay? I give myself permission for internal locus of control. Now we're going to go on to Lena, or no, yes, Lena. Miss Lena. There's a love-hate thing going on, and it's kind of, I think you kind of like it. But at the same time, there's a certain amount of habits. A certain amount of habits that your soul is going through. And as far as, are you going to be aligned to get whatever it is you're getting? I see an active memory. I says, what is this active memory? Is it looping? Yes, 25, at age 25. It's like really about you physically having to change your shape and change and readjust. And I'm like, seriously? And they said, yes. But it's like you felt that there was how much hate. Oh, you're looking at the mirror. So how much they have hate for what you're doing, and then you have that so much loathing and hate for what they're doing. You are actually right there at face to face in that mirror. And they said, it's time to start releasing how you know it. Find out what it is. Do you have to do it? Do you have to receive it? Do you have to see it? They're saying you're starting ready to get it out of your heart. Okay. And then Miranda, real quick, and then we'll get to the people in the room. So Miranda, guilt cycle. Oh, guilt cycle. Okay. Limbic system. So the emotional part of the brain is stuck in the left brain logic that says that I'm supposed to panic because I have to be gun shy. Okay. I have to be, because that's all so they're showing me a snapshot in the moment. And the snapshot is that you always had to be gun shy before you could approach the person. And I'm assuming it has to do with the father. And then it says that I always had to self-justify. So I had to make sure I put those self-limitations in, and I put that arrested development in. And then I was making sure I was copying my mother that, yep, I'm doing it right. This is what I'm doing. And you're following all the rules that people were laying down all over the place. Oh God, your body though. It says you're ready to start taking that mask off slowly. L2D. Okay, so now we're going to go into the room, and I seen a Brenda Cole, Miss Brenda Cole. Okay, so then there's something about you're very Okay, so you're very fanatical about something. So you really look that word up. They said they want you to notice, because that's fanatical, it's making a certain amount of chemical peptides that have dumped, that the energy had dropped. And I said, what is going on? So her body is playing out that, and it creates an auto response right on the spot. And the feeling becomes very lofty to you, and it will just keep pushing and pumping you to feel this. And it will also create this coercing within inside of you about this. And they said, And this is where all of a sudden you created an inside learned helplessness, because these emotions and things like this are just dumping, a continuous dump, this fanatical, it's creating its own like inner, okay, we need to get it to stop. He says, okay, L1D, grab your left wrist, first position deep, push in, okay, and hold your head and really sit there. Brenda, okay, you can do this, Brenda Cole. And who else? Anybody else here? Amber, you usually like one, right? Oh, I see a Deborah Rue. So Amber first and then Deborah. So Amber. How can a person unbitter? How can a person go? You use tools. So how can a person not be disappointed? Not be or not give? Okay. When it comes to dealing with people, it's like, I don't deal with people. I can't deal with people. I don't want to be bitter, but I can't help it. They throw around disappointment. And so I throw this around disappointment. This is the way we speak. And then I can't help but get angry. I said, you ready to let it go? They say yes. So you're at the point where you loathe it now, L1D, because the intolerant tube is very thick, Amber. And they're saying that you keep repeating this particular pattern because it's what happened at 4. So you're ready, I think, to start to get rid of it. Okay, good. Now, I said Deborah, right? Is that who I said? Okay, get my screen back. Come on. Come on, screen. I love you. Okay, Deborah. Yes, Deborah Roos. Moral. The moral of the story is somebody was always giving you certain lectures that would cause you to rethink, readjust, to do it their way. So they made a lot of sense, but now you're on an auto response, and I don't feel like those people are really there. I feel like now other people are there, and sometimes their stories don't, but you got so used to somebody giving you like good moral support or moral stuff, but the people you have around you right now, I think you're smarter than they are. I don't mean to be mean, but I feel like the auto response of where, oh, they're speaking, I'm going to have to do this. I think you need to consider the source. This is a huge thing that I really recommend, is that if they're going to give you advice about being a millionaire, go make sure that they have $1 million in their bank and not 2 dimes they're rubbing together and hoping that they can become a millionaire off of you type thing. You got to really consider the source. Like I had people in my family that told me, hey, you need to raise your kids this way. And I said, no, I do not need to take advice from somebody where, I'm watching the kids having a horrible time. So no. Okay. Hopefully all this makes sense. Now, is there anybody else in the room that I may have missed that wants a 1 minute, or if you're brand new, you get a 2 minutes? I gotta check the other room. I'm gonna give a shout out to Thor. Okay. Oh, Ellen asked, thank you. Okay, so I'll give a shout out to Thor. We're gonna have you work on L1S, because the self-expectations, you feel like you have failed those self-expectations, which then it means that I can't stand up to what I believe in because I just failed. So L1S, okay, just L1S it. That's all they're telling me at this point, because they said the range of emotions. And I said, you want, and they go, no, there is this healing process that you're going through, and you're starting to see the different slivers of perspectives. They're starting to come together, and at first they're very confusing and jambling, but they said, if and I said, well, if she just sticks with this type of healing, they said, yes, have her hold R1D, because she's in grief, remorse, and overcompensating. So R1D for Thor. Okay. And now Miss Ellen. Okay, you make such beautiful reefs, Ellen. Woof. I love it. Her creativity off the wall. Okay, so I see profound, deep, unrequited love, meaning you love and you're just not seeing it back. the way they love you is not really love, but you accepted that. But now you're starting to realize, I don't want it. Now there's a certain amount of action that you're getting stronger. You're getting stronger at taking, and you're realizing that you're really not falling apart. And I said, huh? And they said, yes. It's like you had this fear that you were always going to fall apart if you stood up. And it's like, oh, but I know I'm going to be accused. But at the same time, you're learning that you're not going to die. So every time you feel like you're going to be accused, hold L3D. And that's the kidney area. There's a certain amount of weakness that you had believed that bad things are going to come by being that beautiful you. Yes, that's what I would do. All right, take care of yourself, Ellen, okay? World needs you. Alonzo Magalhaens. Alonzo. Come on, Alonzo, don't be afraid. It won't hurt. Come on. I won't give it unless you ask. Just say yes, please. But I totally respect you, dude. So I'm hoping you get something out of this today. I really do. Because these emotions, these hell loops, they're not fun. They're not fun, but you don't need to do them alone. I'm here. And then when you finally get past and learn the basics, tribal is again where you learn the basics, and you can have this will be your library. And when the academy starts opening, we're creating a whole new way of addressing how to be I'm going to call it, you have to have a prerequisite, but I have a whole new approach now so that you can do it in like karate belts. So there's different levels that you can go in. So it makes it easier for those that are ready at their pace. And I agree that it needs to be done this way. So I'm building that. And where were we going with that? I don't know. Just checking the rooms. They're telling me to check the rooms. Yes, I've checked all over. Okay. Well, maybe. Okay. Sure. Okay. No problem. Alonzo. Ready? Okay. Here we go. There's a certain, oh my God, a certain amount of petrified, and it just was zinged right through, and it just kind of like accumulated right here. And they said, there's some type of habit. Your body has some type of habit, and it's like connected with food. It's like your body and your food went through an experience together, and your body said, oh, if I eat this food, I have to feel this way. But the body and the food is related to something that happened on the outside of you. And it had to do with contempt. So whoever had contempt, I don't know much about it except for that energy of the people in the space. And when you were eating and your body, all of it was like, oh, that's all coming from that. Now I'm looking up at the first gate, which happens to be how we have the cranium. And the cranium says that as we start to let in light, there's about the stories. And I'm looking at the stories. It's like you were taught, does this have to do with culture? Okay, you're taught in your culture to distrust something. People, places, things, and they're not saying it could be all, but you had to readjust something. And I said, does this have to do with gender? Something about has to do with your gender. You have to behave a certain way. Now, my whole body inside is like, that's the craziest thing. You know, I have good reason not to trust. But notice how you trust in the distrust. There's something there. I'm looking at it, but I can't, you're not allowing, you're just like, I don't even know if you know it. I'm stuck in this incompatible cycle. There's a certain amount of distress. And I said, is this part of your identity? No, it's part of the story. I said, can you give me kind of a year? And they said, well, have him go back to when he was 15. because there's a certain amount of action that you're supposed to do, but the energy inside, so there's not outside action, it's running away inside. So it's like, even though you had to stand up and do something, your body's going, oh my God, if I could display this, but it's not. And if you decide that you want to heal something, and you can hold L, left wrist, 2, second position. Yeah, I'm not flipping you off, dude. And you take and you push in. And you put your finger here, wrap around, drop your hand here, and drop your hand down. And they said, you know what it's like for people to use love as a weapon. Okay? Define it, measure it, heal it out. Let me know if that was bad. Well, Nikki can translate, but there's a lot going on in my world, and I don't always share things with you not because I can't, or it's not in my nature, or if I'm holding back. I don't see life like you do. I've healed so much out. I've grown so much in the idea of building up my energies. I don't know how to explain it. You just have to learn how to live it, breathe it, talk it, walk it, and dream it, and then you can demonstrate it. So, hopefully you guys will join me on being how to become your own shaman, how to become your own way seer, to your way shower, how you can become, and hopefully join me down the road even further to where you can be healers for yourself and for others. And we are learning to rise like the phoenix in order to do so. That means we really need to learn how to walk our talk. And when you step into these little things that we talk about, that first part is the basics of awakening, going, shit, I'm doing that. Not to condemn yourself, but so you can see it. Self-awareness, very, very important. Very important. All right, I'm going to double check everything in the room just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And let's see. That looks good. That looks good. And just remember, you want to be able to learn the glossary that has been built through all of this teachings that Spirit has done. You want to learn how to resolve. People thought it was like, yeah, I can solve that. No. Resolving issues, past stories, past emotions, learning to resolve, to evolve. We've forgotten how to evolve. And because we've done that, we've taken spirit out of matter. And it's like we're just running around with all these energies that are controlling us. And you're learning how to put spirit back into form. You're learning how to be I am intuition in form. And you're learning how to make things matter again. And you're doing it from the inside out, because your inner world creates your outer world. So remember to resolve, to evolve. And when you wander around going, just remember, I can heal this, I can heal this. I'd rather heal it than deal with it. Because if you heal instead of deal, you'll then thank yourself later instead of having to pay the price. So when you're in doubt, just grab a tool. This one's the easiest. When you're in doubt, heal it out. Okay. And the more you do this, the more you become blessed, the more you graduate, the more you grow with happiness and joy, and the more you start to see things so much more clear. And it has nothing to do with judgment. It's all about this discernment. And as you start to do this and you start to grow, you're going to learn. When I say stay blessed, you're going to say, yes, I am. Thank you. All right. Bye.